The stars had seen many races rise and fall. Some built wonders of glass and light. Others forged weapons that could shatter moons. But one species always brought laughter to the Council of the Galaxy, humans. On the shining world of Valor, the Great Council gathered. It was a hall so large that ships could fly through it. Thousands of alien leaders filled the seats, their strange bodies glowing, crawling, breathing in unison. Today, they met for one reason only, to pass judgment on humanity. At the center, a tall insectoid known as Carol spoke first. His voice screeched like sharpened blades. Humans, he declared, are the most foolish creatures of the stars. They do not build monuments that last 1,000 years. They do not create machines of elegance. Their inventions break, their tools are ugly, their cities collapse. They are makers of useless things. The chamber filled with laughter. A scaled reptilian general flicked his long tongue and hissed. I saw their weapons once. Pieces of iron, fire, and smoke. Loud, dirty, clumsy. They kill themselves as often as their enemies. What wisdom is this? A crystalline being with a body of glowing prisms raised her hand. Her voice rang like chimes. They turn chaos into art. They waste resources making songs, paintings, toys. What is the value of such things in the cold truth of space? Humans are dreamers when they should be builders. The voices rose, each alien adding insult after insult. They called humans reckless. They called them weak. They said their homeworld, Earth, was nothing but a violent rock that bred violent children. Yet, in one shadowed corner of the council sat a silent scholar. His name was Threx. He had 6 eyes that studied carefully, and he had spent many years among human records. He did not join the laughter. He watched, he listened, and he remembered. The High Chancellor rose. His form was made of shifting smoke and light, older than any empire alive. His words carried final weight. The Council agrees. Humanity does not create useful things. Their inventions are nothing but noise and waste. Let it be written in the archives. Earth shall never rise to greatness. Thunderous approval shook the hall. Tentacles slammed the floor. Wings flapped. Crystalline bodies rang like bells. The decision was made. But Threx did not cheer. His 6 eyes blinked slowly. He recalled images of humans in battle, fixing broken ships in the middle of war, turning scraps into weapons, and surviving where no one else could. He thought of machines built from junk that somehow worked, of engines that screamed like dying beasts yet carried humans across the stars. Useless? Or dangerous? After the judgment, Carol approached him. You did not speak, Threx, the insect hissed. You doubt the truth? I do not doubt, Threx replied carefully. But I wonder, if humans are so useless, why do they always survive? Why do their broken tools still kill, when perfect machines of others fail? Luck, Carol spat. Only luck. Threx bowed his head, but inside, unease grew. He knew luck did not build bridges from stone and wood that stood for centuries. He knew luck did not create fire that carried ships to the stars. He knew luck did not explain why soldiers with crude rifles defeated armies with shining plasma. That night, while the council feasted in victory, Threx studied alone. His chamber was filled with human relics. A fragile wooden craft called an airplane. A spinning machine named a helicopter. A simple metal tube, a rifle that once changed the fate of nations. None of them looked noble. None of them looked eternal. But all of them had changed history. He whispered softly, the council does not see. Humans do not make things to last. They make things to win. Their inventions are not clean. They are not beautiful. But they are alive. They adapt. They surprise. They frighten. Far away on Earth, a human worked late into the night in a dusty workshop. Sparks leapt as metal clashed. Wires burned, gears rattled, and smoke filled the air. The machine was unstable, ugly, loud. But when the switch was pulled, it roared to life with wild power. The human laughed with joy, sweat shining on his face. At that very moment, a quiet fear stirred in Threx's heart. The council might laugh at humanity, but he now saw the truth beginning to form. Humans did not create useful things. They created unpredictable things. And unpredictable things could one day rule the galaxy. Deep under the surface of Earth, far away from alien eyes, a workshop buzzed with noise. The place was not beautiful. The walls were cracked stone, the floor covered in grease and broken wires. Sparks flew every few seconds, filling the air with smoke. To an alien mind, it was chaos. To a human, it was creation. Inside, a young engineer named Maya tightened a bolt with dirty hands. She was small, with sharp eyes and a mind that never stopped thinking. Around her stood machines that looked more like monsters than tools. One was a flying drone with crooked wings, patched with tape and steel plates. Another was a weapon that looked like a pipe stuffed with chemicals. There were engines that coughed black smoke, machines that shook violently, and devices that nobody outside Earth would even call technology. Aliens had declared humans useless. They laughed at the crude designs. But in this hidden place, Maya and her team worked without rest. They did not care about beauty. They cared about survival. An older man, Captain Rowan, entered the workshop. His uniform was torn, his voice heavy. "Maya," he said, "the aliens are planning another attack. We don't have time. Can your machines fight?" Maya wiped sweat from her forehead. "They are not perfect, Captain. They might break. But they will work long enough." Rowan nodded. He had seen it before. Human machines often looked like junk, but when the moment came, they did things no alien weapon could. At the edge of the room, a boy no older than 15 carried wires twice his weight. His name was Eli. He had no formal training, no education in engineering. But with simple hands and sharp instinct, he rewired a drone in minutes. Humans had a strange gift. They could learn by failing, and fail 1,000 times without giving up. Threx, the alien scholar, watched all of this from afar. Hidden cameras fed images to his chamber on Valor. He leaned close, 6 eyes flickering as he studied every detail. The council had dismissed humanity. They had called their inventions useless. But what Threx saw was something far more dangerous. He recorded notes in his glowing datapad. Humans design without logic. They build fast, not clean. They create with desperation, not tradition. Their machines are ugly, but they bend to any problem. They are adaptive. Maya's newest creation stood in the center of the workshop. It was a towering machine of steel, half robot, half vehicle. It shook violently as the engine roared. The control system was a mess of wires, switches, and blinking lights. Any alien engineer would laugh and call it trash. But when Maya climbed inside and pulled the levers, the monster moved. The steps were heavy, its arms strong. With every motion, the machine looked like it would collapse. Yet it did not. It worked. Rowan's eyes widened. "It's ugly as hell," he muttered. "But it might save us all." In that moment, alarms blared. The aliens were coming. Scouts reported a fleet approaching Earth's outer colony on Titan. The humans had hours, maybe less. Panic spread across the base. Soldiers prepared weapons. Civilians prayed. Maya and Eli worked faster. The boy connected fuel lines with trembling hands. Sparks burned his fingers, but he kept going. Maya adjusted the reactor, ignoring the smoke rising from the engine. They did not have clean technology. They had courage and desperation. Above Earth, alien ships gathered information. Sleek, flawless, designed by minds that valued perfection. They believed victory was already theirs. In the workshop, the humans loaded their useless inventions onto trucks and small ships. The drones buzzed angrily. The strange weapons glowed with unstable energy. The towering steel monster shook the ground as it walked. Threx whispered to himself as he watched the preparations. They do not create useful things. They create impossible things. And impossible things win wars. As the humans moved out, Maya looked back at her workshop. She smiled faintly. "If it works, it works," she said softly. It was the human way. The fleet rose into the sky. Engines screamed, metal rattled, and fire poured from the machines. They were loud, unstable, and ugly, but they were alive. The battle was about to begin. The cold shadow of Titan spread across the battlefield. Saturn's great rings glimmered above, silent witnesses to what was about to happen. Alien warships filled the sky, sleek and perfect, shining like blades of silver. Their cannons hummed with deadly power. To them, this was no battle. It was cleanup, a simple strike to erase a weak human colony. On the ground, human soldiers prepared nervously. Their armor was patched with scrap metal. Their rifles rattled when loaded. Their vehicles coughed smoke into the frozen air. Nothing looked ready. Nothing looked strong. Yet every pair of human eyes burned with determination. Maya stood near her creation, the towering steel machine she had built with her team. The engine roared, gears grinding, smoke pouring from its sides. It looked more like a dying beast than a war machine, but inside its core power pulsed. She whispered to herself, "Please, just hold together." Captain Rowan walked through the ranks, his voice steady despite the fear in his eyes. "Listen to me," he told his soldiers. "The aliens think we are weak. They think our machines are useless. But we are not fighting to look perfect. We are fighting to live. Do not forget that." Above them, alien commanders laughed. From the bridge of a crystal warship, General Ralith spoke with amusement. "Look at them. Rusted toys and broken engines. This will be over in minutes." The alien fleet moved first. Beams of white energy rained down, cutting through the icy surface. Explosions lit the colony. Buildings collapsed, fire rising into the black sky. The ground shook like thunder. Rowan shouted, "Now!" From the shadows of Titan's frozen cliffs, the human machines rose. Ugly drones with crooked wings swarmed into the air, engines screaming. Crude cannons fired back, not with clean plasma but with shells and fire. The towering steel monster took its first heavy steps, shaking the ground as it charged. The aliens sneered. "Primitive tricks," Ralith muttered. He ordered his fighters forward. Sleek ships dove into the swarm, energy weapons slicing the drones apart. One by one, the crooked machines exploded in flames. But then something unexpected happened. The drones did not retreat. They dived into alien ships, crashing directly into their hulls. The explosions tore holes into perfect armor. Fire spread through flawless designs. The drones had become bombs. Ralitha's eyes widened. What are they doing? They destroy their own machines. Yes, whispered Threx, who watched from his hidden chamber. Because humans do not fear loss. They build again. They always build again. On the ground, the steel monster roared. Maya pushed the controls, the machine stumbling forward like a wounded giant. Enemy fire struck its side, burning holes into its armor. It shook, nearly collapsing. But then, with a surge of power, its arm lifted and fired a weapon cobbled together from pipes and chemicals. The shot was wild, unstable, but it struck. An alien warship burst into flames, its perfect hull shattered by human chaos. For the first time, the alien fleet hesitated. Rowan saw the moment and seized it. Push forward. Show them what useless things can do. Human vehicles rolled out, engines screaming, weapons firing. Their shells did not fly straight, but they struck with fury. Their missiles did not guide cleanly, but when they hit, they tore through alien steel. The battlefield turned into madness. Machines breaking, fire spreading. Both sides locked in chaos. Ralith slammed his claws against the control table. This is impossible. Their weapons should fail. Threx's 6 eyes glowed as he studied the battle. He whispered to himself, their weapons do fail, but they fail forward. They fail into victory. In the workshop deep below Titan's surface, Eli worked furiously on broken drones. He rebuilt them with shaking hands, sending them back into the fight. Every time the aliens destroyed one, another rose from the ashes. Maya's steel monster staggered but kept fighting, smoke and sparks pouring from every wound. It was not perfect. It was not eternal. But it was alive. As the battle dragged on, something terrifying became clear to the aliens. They could not predict the humans. Every machine was different. Every weapon behaved strangely. No strategy worked. Their perfect order met human chaos, and chaos was winning. Ralith, furious and desperate, gave the order to retreat. His voice shook with rage. Enough! Pull back the fleet. These creatures are unstable. The alien ships turned, leaving the burning colony below. For the first time in centuries, a fleet of the Council had been pushed back, not by beauty, not by perfection, but by human madness. The humans cheered, though their machines lay in ruins around them. Soldiers hugged, tears freezing on their faces. Maya collapsed against the controls, exhausted but smiling. Her ugly steel monster had survived long enough. Rowan stood tall, looking at the burning sky. They said we do not create useful things, he said softly. Maybe they are right, but what we create keeps us alive. And that is enough. Far away, Threx closed his datapad, his heart heavy. He whispered a warning to the empty chamber. If this is what humans do with useless machines, then the galaxy should tremble when they learn what humans truly can create. The first test was over. The galaxy had been warned. The galaxy was shaken. For the first time in centuries, the Great Council's fleet had been forced to retreat. Alien commanders could not understand what had gone wrong. Their ships were stronger, their weapons cleaner, their technology flawless. And yet humans, those makers of useless things, had survived. In the crystal halls of Zeral Prime, arguments filled the council. Generals shouted, scholars debated, leaders demanded answers. Some claimed the humans had been lucky. Others whispered it was more than luck. But only one being searched for the truth, Threx. The pale scholar sat in his chamber, surrounded by glowing holoscreens. One screen showed humans repairing broken machines with their bare hands. Another showed drones rebuilt in minutes, each one different from the last. Another showed soldiers fighting with weapons that looked unstable yet struck with deadly power. Threx wrote in his notes, "Human technology has no order, no structure. They build without patterns. No two machines are the same. They do not design to last, they design to work now. Their chaos is not weakness. It is their strength." He leaned back, 6 eyes blinking slowly. He remembered the steel monster on Titan, shaking, smoking, nearly collapsing, yet somehow destroying a warship. No alien engineer would have built such a thing. It defied all logic. Yet it had worked. Meanwhile, far away on Earth, Maya and her team celebrated briefly. Soldiers sang, children laughed, and Rowan raised a toast. But even in victory, the workshop was alive with noise. Sparks flew, engines roared, and new machines were already being built. Maya refused to stop. "We won once," she said. "But next time they will come stronger. Our machines must be ready." Eli, his hands still bandaged from burns, grinned. "Then we just build stranger ones. Let them try to understand." Back in the council chamber, alien leaders demanded explanations. General Ralith, furious from his defeat, slammed his claws on the table. "Their weapons are crude. Their ships are trash. But they fight like demons. They sacrifice their machines as if they mean nothing. How do we fight such madness?" A crystalline scholar answered, "We cannot predict them. Every battle, their tools change. What defeated them once does not work the next time. It is as if they evolve in hours." Ralith growled, "Machines cannot evolve." But Threx rose slowly, his voice calm. "Machines cannot. Humans can." The council turned to him. He explained, his 6 eyes glowing with unease. "Other species create perfection. A single design that lasts for centuries. But perfection is fragile. One weakness and it breaks. Humans create imperfection. They build 10 designs in one day, each different, each flawed. But from those flaws they adapt. From failure they grow stronger. Chaos is their teacher. And chaos has no end." The chamber fell silent. Some scoffed. Others trembled. One elder whispered, "If this is true, then humans are the most dangerous inventors in the galaxy." Ralith hissed in rage. "Dangerous? They are reckless children. They will destroy themselves before they ever threaten us." Threx did not argue, but inside he felt a deep fear. He had seen the recordings. Humans did destroy themselves again and again, and yet, every time they returned stronger. That night, Threx secretly sent a message to a hidden archive. He marked it with the words, "Warning. Humanity does not create useful things. Humanity creates unpredictable things. And unpredictability is the deadliest weapon." On Earth, Maya tested a new drone. It was ugly, shaking, and filled with unstable chemicals. Rowan watched nervously. "Will it fly?" he asked. Maya smiled. "It doesn't matter if it flies well. It just matters that it flies once." The drone rose into the air, spinning wildly, nearly crashing. Then suddenly it stabilized, roaring across the sky like a missile. It struck a frozen mountain and exploded with terrifying force. The shockwave echoed for miles. Rowan stared in awe. "You call this useless?" Maya laughed softly. "If it works, it works." Far across the galaxy, in silent council chambers, Threx replayed the explosion on his holoscreen. The image of fire filled his eyes. His 6 pupils narrowed with dread. He whispered to himself, "The others do not understand. They think usefulness means order, beauty, and perfection. But humans, they do not need perfection. They need survival. And survival is the most useful thing of all." The revelation was clear. Humanity's greatest power was not strength, not intelligence, not beauty. It was their chaos, their endless ability to create, destroy, and create again. The galaxy had judged humans too quickly, and soon that mistake would cost them dearly. The news spread faster than light. Across star systems, alien empires whispered the same words. The humans defeated a council fleet. No one believed it at first. Sounded like a joke. A primitive species with broken machines, ugly weapons, and chaotic designs could never stand against the most powerful armada in the galaxy. Yet the recordings told the truth. Ships of perfect design had fallen and humans had lived. In the markets of the crystalline worlds, traders spoke in fear. "They fight with madness," one said. "They throw away their machines as if they do not care," another replied. "And still they win." On war-torn moons, soldiers watched the recordings again and again. The images showed crooked drones slamming into perfect ships, explosions ripping through flawless armor. They saw a smoking steel monster take down a vessel 10 times its size. The soldiers did not laugh. They shivered. In the great council chambers, the mood was grim. General Ralith shouted in rage, his claws scraping the stone. This was one battle, one mistake. Do not tremble before these reckless animals. But the crystalline scholar shook her glowing head. "General, one battle can change everything. If they can defeat perfection with chaos, then no one is safe." The council argued, but Threx remained silent. His 6 eyes stayed fixed on the holoscreen in front of him, watching humans repair their broken machines. He whispered softly, "The galaxy trembles because, for the first time, they have seen something they do not understand." Meanwhile, on Earth, Maya continued her work. The workshop was louder than ever. Sparks flew, engines screamed, and new designs came alive. Soldiers walked among the machines with awe. Rowan stood beside Maya. "Do you realize what you've done? Entire empires are afraid now." Maya shook her head. "They are afraid because they do not understand. They think a machine must be perfect to be useful. But our machines are alive because they can fail, adapt, and change. That is why we win." Eli, his young hands still scarred, laughed as he tested another drone. "Let them tremble. The more they fear us, the stronger we become." Far away, in the cold void, alien fleets gathered. Some wanted revenge. Others wanted study. Many wanted to crush humans before their chaos spread any further. Yet, at the same time, some races began to whisper different thoughts. A reptilian merchant spoke to his allies. "If humans can make victory from trash, imagine what they could do if we gave them resources." A small insectoid clan leader murmured to his court, "Perhaps it is better to stand beside humans than against them." The galaxy trembled not only from fear, but also from doubt. Old alliances cracked. Old certainties broke. Back in the council chambers, Threx finally spoke. His voice was quiet, but every ear turned. "You call their inventions useless. But you are wrong. Useless things do not bring fear to the galaxy. Useless things do not turn warships into burning wrecks. What you saw on Titan was not weakness. It was the beginning. Ralith snarled. You speak like a traitor, scholar. Threx met his furious gaze. No, I speak like someone who has seen the future. And the future belongs to them. The words echoed through the chamber. Many laughed bitterly, but many did not. For the first time, doubt touched even the strongest voices of the council. On Earth, as night fell, Maya stood outside her workshop. She looked up at the stars, the same stars where countless civilizations whispered her species' name with fear. She felt no pride, only responsibility. They will come again, she told Rowan. Rowan nodded. Then we will be ready. And if we are not ready, we will build something until we are. Her smile was small but fierce. That was the human way. In the silence of space, the galaxy held its breath. The council had judged humans as makers of useless things. Now those useless things had shaken the foundations of empires. Every admiral, every scholar, every soldier in the galaxy felt it. A strange, growing fear. The fear of a species that could turn chaos into survival. The fear of humans. The galaxy could not ignore Earth anymore. The first victory on Titan was like a spark dropped in dry grass. Soon, the fire spread everywhere. Some alien empires demanded humans be destroyed before their chaos infected the stars. Others argued that humans should be studied, maybe even allied with. But the council had made its choice: war. A fleet larger than any before gathered near the burning sun of Valor. Thousands of ships stood ready, shining like polished blades. They were built with perfection. Every weapon flawless, every system tested, every formation exact. The commanders believed this time would be different. This time, General Ralith roared, the humans will be erased. On Earth, the news reached Maya's workshop. The atmosphere was heavy, but her hands did not stop. Sparks flew, gears rattled, engines screamed. Around her, dozens of soldiers, engineers, and even children worked together. Humanity had no single perfect design, no ancient weapon of the gods. What they had was invention, wild, endless invention. Eli stood proudly beside a strange weapon he had built. It looked like 3 rifles tied together with tape and wires, but when he fired it, the gun spat flames that tore a hole through solid steel. He grinned. Ugly works, he said. Rowan watched the chaos of the workshop with a heavy heart. They will bring a storm, he said quietly to Maya. Thousands of ships. We cannot outnumber them. Maya looked up from her machine, sweat shining on her face. Then we won't fight with numbers. We will fight with ideas. When the alien fleet finally entered human space, they expected fear. They expected the humans to hide behind their fragile colonies. Instead, they were met with madness. Ships rose from Earth and Mars, each one different. Some were large, heavy, with patchwork armor. Others were small, fast, built from parts of mining vessels. Weapons stuck out at odd angles, glowing with unstable energy. No 2 ships looked the same. Ralith sneered when he saw them. Scrap and trash. They dare face us with this. But when the battle began, the galaxy learned what scrap and trash could do. Human ships moved unpredictably. One ship exploded in fire on purpose, sending shrapnel through an entire alien squadron. Another ship pretended to break down, only to reveal hidden cannons inside its wrecked hull. Drones launched in swarms, buzzing like angry insects, crashing into warships with suicidal force. The aliens tried to adapt, but every human attack was different. No pattern, no logic, no order. Alien strategies failed again and again. Threx, watching from the shadows, whispered to himself, "This is not war as we know it. This is invention unleashed." On the ground, human colonies turned their cities into traps. Streets were filled with mines, rooftops with improvised cannons. Ordinary citizens used farming machines as weapons. Even toys were turned into explosives. The aliens who landed expecting easy conquest found themselves lost in chaos. One alien commander screamed in frustration, "Nothing they build makes sense." Another replied, terrified, And that is why it works. In the heart of the battle, Maya piloted her steel monster once again. The machine shook violently, smoke pouring from its vents. She pushed it harder than ever, charging straight at an enemy warship that had landed on the battlefield. Cannons struck her, tearing away armor, but still the monster moved. She fired every weapon at once, rockets, flames, shells. The warship exploded in a shower of fire, and the humans roared with victory. Rowan stood with his soldiers, watching alien ships retreat once again. His voice carried through the chaos. They thought we would break. But they cannot break what is already broken and rebuilt 100 times. As the battle spread across systems, the galaxy trembled more deeply. Whole empires questioned their place. If humans could win with chaos, then order itself was in danger. Threx prepared his final report. His 6 eyes glowed as he wrote, "The war of invention has begun. Humanity does not fight with weapons alone. They fight with imagination. They do not create perfection. They create survival. And survival cannot be defeated." Far away, in hidden corners of the galaxy, some species began to whisper dangerous thoughts. Perhaps humans are not just fighters. Perhaps they are the future. And as Earth's machines roared louder, as scrap turned to fire and invention turned to war, one truth became clear. The galaxy was no longer trembling at what humans had built. The galaxy was trembling at what they might build next. The war had burned across the stars. Worlds of crystal, cities of steel, and colonies on frozen moons. All had felt the storm of humanity's inventions. The council fleets, once untouchable, now carried scars from battles they had never imagined losing. The galaxy had learned to fear not human strength, but human creativity. On Valor, the council gathered once more. The great chamber that once rang with laughter now echoed with silence. Leaders who had mocked humans sat uneasy in their thrones. The recordings of human battles were played again and again. Scrap ships turning into bombs, drones rebuilt in minutes, weapons made from toys and farming tools. General Ralitha's pride was shattered. His voice shook with rage as he spoke. "They are a disease. They twist everything they touch into weapons. If we do not crush them now, the galaxy will belong to them." But the crystalline scholar's voice rang clear. "And how will you crush them, General? Every time we strike, they change. Every time we adapt, they change again. How do you fight chaos itself?" Ralith had no answer. In the corner, Threx rose slowly. His 6 eyes glowed, his voice heavy with truth. "We judged them wrong. We believed useful meant perfect, eternal, clean. But humans do not create useful things. They create dangerous things. They create unpredictable things. And that is why they win." The council fell silent. His words carried the weight of every defeat, every burning ship, every broken plan. Far away on Earth, the workshop roared with life. Maya stood before her machines, scarred and tired but unbroken. Around her, engineers, soldiers, and children worked side by side. The air smelled of oil, smoke, and hope. Rowan approached her. His armor was dented, his voice heavy. "The war is not over. They will come again." Maya nodded. "Then we will build again. If they bring 10 fleets, we will build 10,000 ideas. They cannot stop what they cannot understand." Eli, standing proudly with his patched rifle, grinned. "Let them come. Every time they do, we'll surprise them again." Across the galaxy, alien soldiers whispered in fear. Some refused to fight humans, calling them mad inventors. Others abandoned the council armies, fearing death in battles where nothing made sense. Even allied races began to doubt the council's strength. A rumor spread like fire. Humans are not just survivors. They are teachers. They show the galaxy what invention truly means. Threx, writing his final report, recorded the truth that could no longer be denied. Humans are not the strongest. They are not the fastest. They are not the oldest. But they are the most dangerous, because they never stop creating. Even in ruins, they invent. Even in death, they inspire. The galaxy trembles because it has seen the future, and the future is human. On the battlefield of a ruined moon, the war reached its peak. Alien fleets surrounded the human defenders, their weapons ready to fire. For a moment, silence held the stars. Then, from the shadows, the human ships appeared, each one different, each one strange. Some barely held together, others glowing with unstable energy. The aliens opened fire. Human ships exploded, but not in defeat. The wreckage turned into storms of shrapnel, tearing through enemy lines. Drones broke apart, scattering into dozens of smaller drones, each carrying fire. The battlefield turned into madness. Chaos alive, chaos victorious. Rowan raised his voice over the comms. They called us useless. They called our machines worthless. But look at us now, we are still here. And they are running. Indeed, the alien fleets broke apart. Commanders screamed orders, but nothing worked. No strategy could contain the storm. One by one, ships turned and fled. The galaxy's strongest armies were undone by inventions that should never have worked, but did. When the smoke cleared, humans stood among ruins, scarred and weary but alive. Maya stepped out of her steel monster, its frame broken, its engine dead. She placed her hand on its blackened armor and whispered, "You did enough." Rowan stood beside her, looking at the stars. "They will remember this day, not because of our weapons but because of what we showed them." Maya nodded. "We showed them that usefulness is not perfection. It is survival, and survival belongs to us." In the quiet that followed, the galaxy listened. Across thousands of worlds, a lesson was carved into history. Humans do not create useful things. They create impossible things. And impossible things change everything. The war was not the end. It was the beginning of a new age, the age of human invention. And the galaxy would never laugh at Earth again.